the great Thorpe episode. And that was really, I thought, the sort of great justification of private eye during my years there. It was a publicity idea of Ingrams's that I should stand as dog lover's candidate against Thorpe. I am a dog lover. It wasn't totally bogus, that.
Emerging with his wife,
Took quite a pompous line there. But of course, you couldn't take it very seriously for very long, because the whole idea was a totally comic one, of this slightly absurd politician allegedly having his boyfriend knocked off.
I always maintain that I was innocent. Will you shut up?
Among the allegations was that this unfortunate dog, this lovely dog, had been shot as part of the whole plot in order to frighten Scott out of giving evidence against Thorpe.
We have been forced to listen to the testimony of Mr. Norma St. John Scott. A scoundrel, parasite, pervert, a worm, a self-confessed player of the pink oboe.
In fact, we all know what happened. This totally innocent politician was cleared on every charge. But I still think we did a good job. It's always assumed in English libel law that the slightest suggestion of impropriety does most appalling damage. And these grossly detailed allegations that were made about buggery and the pain of it, the most gross and disgusting allegations that have been made by anybody against a man in public life. He still got an enormous number of votes. Only about 1,500 votes were swayed.
Result of the North Devon constituency. Thorpe, 23,338. Waugh.
Dog Lovers Party.
Well, it teaches one to quantify, I think, the damage of alleged libel.
79. 7-9.
Our most avid readers are lawyers, yes, and they do comb through the issue. Ambulance chasers is a very harsh word, but writ chasers is another.
It's funny, I always think the law courts, you know, they're made to look like a cathedral.
Yeah.
Outside and inside. I always think of it as being a great casino.
Pull the lever.
With all these punters,
Yeah.
the lawyers going,
Rushing in, and someone shouting, bingo!
coming out with dudes.
People take things seriously in there that
Yeah.
you just think are ridiculous.
Well, I always remember Bron saying that even a simple act, like eating a sausage, could be made in a court of law.
Very sinister.
And
You
obscene.
ate a sausage.
And obscene in some way.
Yeah.
I think when Ian came in, he was determined that there was going to be a clampdown on the amount of libel actions. And now when I come in and I see this file full of writs and affidavits and things, I think that he's realised probably now that there's not all that much you can do.
I bet he didn't say that.
The whole magazine is read for libel by our lawyer. It's pretty innocent knockabout stuff. Who advises me as to which passages are possibly defamatory. And then I take his advice and then make my own decision about what to print. Well, what's over the top? Psychopath?
Yes.
Or the psychiatric treatment?
Yeah. And that all my friends are all.
Right. Well, the guy was at the dinner. It's a question of, will he come forward?
No.
That's the original allegation. We didn't give any undertakings last time, did we? When we settled? Not to mention her again or anything?
Not as I remember. But we said that last time, didn't we? In the very last issue. That.
Oh, God, that's the, yep, that's been in before. Doesn't mean it's not libelous.
Doesn't get us off the hook.
It does mean we didn't see last time.
Yeah.
The decision to fight any particular case tends to be fairly arbitrary, some sort of madness. My own recorded comments about the Sutcliffe writ was, she'll never go to court, which shows how good I am at spotting them. This was the wife of the Yorkshire Ripper, who the Eye accused of doing a deal with the Daily Mail for £250,000 for her story. And 6 years later, she sent in a writ, and the jury went completely bonkers and awarded her the highest libel settlement ever.
Guinness Book of Records, 600,000. He's in the Guinness Book of Records. I was never in the Guinness Book of Records.
The victims of the Yorkshire Ripper, for being attacked by a mass murderer, got an average of £7,000 apiece. Now, you can do the maths. You get 100 times more for being attacked by a small circulation magazine like Private Eye.
I made quite a song and dance at the time about the discrepancy between personal injury awards and libel awards, which I thought was incredibly unfair. As it happens, the appeal court did as well. The 600,000 came down to 60,000.
To try and measure emotional hurt in cash seems daft. How hurt are you, Mr. Cook? Oh, I'm about £100,000 hurt at the moment. But I could be £200,000 hurt. With built-in inflation, I'm probably £2 million hurt, and it's daft.
She sat there all the time making notes of what was being said.
Oh dear, that's completely bonkers.
Well, I don't say that, no. I mean, that's... Well, you can get hooked on it. She got a liking for actual litigation for actually sitting in court.
Well, they're those characters called widows at law in Restoration plays. There's a stock English character, this absurd person who's always going and suing someone.
Goldsmith issued his writs against Private Eye following the Lucan murder case. Private Eye suggested that he'd played some part in a luncheon gathering of mates of Lucan who'd gathered on the day after the murder to see what they could do to help their old chum who'd disappeared. And the Eye claimed that Goldsmith had been at this meeting, which was completely wrong. He made a point always, I think, of coming to court himself, which was quite strange considering what a huge business empire he was in charge of. And I got the feeling as it went on that he was becoming not exactly obsessed by Private Eye. I remember he used to look across at me sometimes in a kind of way, and he used to go like this, sort of grinning and nodding, and I couldn't make out what that was about.
I see Private Eye as far more important than just a personal battle. I consider it a general disease within the press, which has to be cut out, which the press itself should cut out. But as it hasn't done so, I've been forced to do it for them.
A boom in sales as a result of the giant newsagent chain, John Menzies, agreeing to sell Private Eye has meant...
There was a sort of great wave of public opinion in the Eye's favour, and Goldsmith suddenly discovered that he'd become sort of public enemy #1. The irony of it is that the more Goldsmith sues us, the more publicity we attract to the magazine, the more the circulation goes up.
I forget how many writs, 97 writs. And people, you know, people who are selling the magazine, news vendors, people selling evening papers in Bristol were injuncted. I mean, it's an absolute farce.
Private Eye liked nothing better than people jumping back with writs, gagging writs, and once they'd done that, they were confirmed in the Private Eye demonology. There's no point attacking people or tormenting them if they don't respond. Goldsmith, you see, reacted immediately, so did Maxwell.
Robert Maxwell.
The Eye accused Rob Maxwell of attempting to buy a peerage, in effect, by giving money to Neil Kinnock, a story that was not true.
Yes, new instant Robert Maxwell dissolves overnight.
Robert Maxwell.
Private Eye is a satirical magazine whose proprietor, a gentleman I believe called Mr. Wigwam, Mr. Ingram, I beg your pardon, Ingram, is in the habit of going after innocent people. I'm one of those that he knows. If he steps out of line, he'll be swatted like a fly. That's it.
The courts awarded him £5,000 damages with a £50,000 exemplary damages for the conduct of the Eye during the trial, and then a whole bunch of costs.